Welcome back to my episode reviews of my favorite Transformers cartoon ever, Beast Wars. In this review, we're taking a look at the episode Dark Designs. In this episode, Megatron captures Rhinox and reprograms him into a Predacon. We begin this episode with the Maximals searching for Energon. And I like that once again, Rhinox is using his little tricorder thing. They definitely need to make that an accessory for him if he ever gets a Masterpiece toy.
Dead end.
As dead ends go, at least this one has a view.
Hello, dead end.
Hello.
But they are soon attacked by the Predacons. Ouch! That was kind of brutal, at least for Cheetor. Although it's weird that the explosion barely affected the other Maximals. So the Maximals and Predacons battle as we get some serious shaky cam going on. Geez, who directed this episode? Michael Bay?
It shouldn't be this easy. No, but mustn't complain. Close the file on Optimus Primal and delete.
For one, I think you may have spoken too soon there, Megatron. And two, this interestingly ties into my theory that all the times that Beast Megatron is talking to himself in the show, he is actually recording himself and doing sort of a captain's log, diary, or journal type of thing. Very interesting indeed. Rhinox is shooting like a Star Wars stormtrooper, but it's actually for a good reason, as he is trying to bury the Predacons in rock.
There's more than one way to skin a cat, so to speak.
Well done, old friend. Steady nerves and quick thinking.
Comes with the job description.
No, I'm serious. If you ever wanted to, you'd make one prime leader.
You mean like Rhinoximus Prime? So, at the request of Megatron, Tarantulas captures Rhinox, and Megatron uses his transmuter to reprogram Rhinox into a Predacon.
Afternoon, all. This a private club, or can anybody join?
Rhinox getting turned into a bad guy? Get used to this, big buddy. I like how Mainframe didn't just change Rhinox's faction symbols, but they actually gave him a new color scheme. The green seems a little darker, although that could be the lighting in the dark side. His gold accents are now silver, and his rhino hide is more of a dark purple than the tan brown that it originally was. Honestly, I'm kind of lukewarm on his new Kingdom toy. I think his previous Thrilling 30 version is a lot better overall, but if Hasbro did a Dark Designs Predacon Rhinox repaint of it, I would be all over that. Also, while you're at it, give me the Trigger repaint of Black Arachnia, Hasbro. But we'll get to that episode in due time. I absolutely love the concern that Rat Trap shows for his boyfriend.
Man, we can't just leave my pal in there.
Oh, sorry, his pal. Sure, Rat Trap, whatever you want to call him. However, Optimus decides that the best plan of attack is to do nothing at all.
No, but I've got a hunch that Megatron's bitten off a little more than he bargained for. Yes.
He said the thing! He looked right at the camera, shattered the fourth wall, and he said the thing that Megatron usually says. But it's Optimus. I can't handle it. I love it so much. Oh, my Primus, my spark. It hurts from how much I love this little bit. I'm absolutely giddy. I also love the sassy attitude that Predacon Rhinox has. You can tell that this is going to be a good episode already.
The chief wants to know how long this is gonna take.
Well, tell him not to get his software in a snarl.
Don't get your software in a snarl? This must be the Cybertronian equivalent of don't get your panties in a bunch. So Rhinox begins causing havoc for all the Predacons. Starting with tipping all these computer modules? I really don't know what else these are supposed to be. Onto and crushing Scorponok. They really should stack these better. I think they need to take a lesson from Wedge. Or Rack and Ruin. Rhinox then turns one of these into a wrecking ball and hits Waspinator with it.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Which then leads into one of the most memorable moments from this episode, and Beast Wars in general.
Waspinator, what are you buzzing about?
Waspinator. Negative. I am Shrapnel Decepticon here. Oh.
He's Wacko.
Wacko? No! One-co the same!
This is actually one of the first times, maybe even the first, where they specifically referenced G1 in the show, helping solidify that connection between this series and the previous one. It also makes me wonder if there's a deeper connection between Waspinator and the Insecticons. Or perhaps it's just a reference for the older fans. This makes Pterosaur pretty sus of Rhinox, and he thinks that they may have a traitor among them.
So, this is the game.
Pterosaur then tries to team up with Rhinox, and it goes about as well as when he tried to team up with Dinobot that one time.
Cause one false move and you're a new fast food sensation. Pterodactyl hot wings. Get it? Got it!
I really like hot wings. Although, wouldn't eating Pterosaur technically be cannibalism? Rhinox also takes out Tarantulas and Blackarachnia off screen.
What's going on around here?
Now I get it. Leave Rhinox in there and let him create total chaos.
I looked up. Blam!
How is this show making me feel sorry for Scorponok? The way he and Megatron are sad, it almost looks like he's comforting him. Aww, how cute. We then cut back to the Maximals where, is it just me? Or does it look like most of them are just kind of floating above the ground? You gotta love early CGI animation. So Rhinox is outed as the traitor. And I just love this scene. Pterosaur feeling hot under the collar, even though he doesn't have one. And Rhinox manipulating Scorponok into fighting with Pterosaur. It's great. It really showcases what an evil Rhinox can do. Of course, he makes one fatal flaw, basically jumping right back into the transmuter.
I take over, and you head straight for the recycling bin. Yes.
Yes, I love that Rhinox did it too! Aw, what a great episode! So, Rhinox is turned back into a Maximal, and as if on cue, his comrades blast a hole in the wall to save their old buddy.
Decepticons attack! More than meets the eye.
As the Maximals and Predacons fight, there's a couple of things that I'd like to point out. One is that Scorponok is really tiny here. I know in the original Beast Wars toy line, Scorponok was a Mega, and Dinobot was a Deluxe. But I guess in the show, they went with slightly more accurate scaling based on their beast modes. Slightly. And second, I feel that this little bit between Optimus and Megatron is totally an homage to that scene in Indiana Jones. Which, by the way, apparently the only reason that this scene is like this is because Harrison Ford got food poisoning and wasn't up for doing an elaborate sword fight. So he was just like, can I just shoot him? And that's what they went with. Just imagine, one of the most iconic scenes in that movie is because Harrison Ford was sick. Similarly, I wonder if this scene between Dinobot and Scorponok was also inspired by another scene in Indiana Jones. And so, the Maximals escape with Rhinox, and they all hang out in a field together. I wonder what book it is that Optimus is reading. Or is it actually a tablet? Maybe it's the Covenant of Primus? And the episode ends with the Maximals joking about how the Predacons have personality problems. Much to the ire of Dinobot. So cute. Well, this was an awesome episode of Beast Wars. Maybe one of the top 10. And that's saying something, because this is only season 1. And nearly every episode in season 2 is top tier. and some of the ones in Season 3 as well. Of course, this wouldn't be the last time that Rhinox is turned evil, as he is turned into the Viacon General, Tankor, in Beast Machines. And even after his original Rhinox personality is restored, he is still evil. That is, until after he dies, which apparently then he realizes he was a good guy. But as Tankor Rhinox, he is very much a threat to both Megatron and the Maximals, much like he is in this episode. Speaking of getting turned evil, I wonder if this is what Megatron would have done to Optimus Primal had he agreed to Megatron's deal back in the episode Guerrilla Warfare. I also wonder if Megatron had used this on Optimus, or the other Maximals for that matter, what would their Predacon color schemes look like? Would Optimus Primal look like Nemesis Primal? And what about Dinobot? Since he was originally a Predacon, would his color scheme change? And for that matter, what if the Maximals had their own version of the transmuter and used it to convert the Predacons into Maximals? Not that they would ever do that, but honestly, I'm just curious what their color schemes would be. Although, can you imagine what the personalities of good guy versions of Megatron and Waspinator would be like? Aww, I bet they'd be super cute! I imagine a heroic version of Megatron would be very noble, like Silverbolt. And Waspinator would probably be like how he is now, but nice. And maybe a little bit shy. Oh, what about Pterosaur? He would switch from being a traitor to being super loyal. I imagine him being like one of those anime girl stereotypes. Tsundere, I think, is the correct term. Tarantulas would probably be a kudere. Scorponok would be a yandere. Okay, now I'm just turning all the Predacons into anime girls. Well, let me know what you thought of this episode of Beast Wars down in the comments. Remember to like, share, and do all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you back here next week for the next episode of Beast Wars Double Dinobot. So be sure to come back next time for that.